Welcome back to Building Character, where we figure out how to play as your favorite fictional characters in Dungeons & Dragons. Join the Patreon to vote for Asami or Tenzin from Legend of Korra, and like and subscribe for better speeches next time you play. Maybe. Today we're building Optimus Prime, leader of the Autobots, and also a car. I feel like this is a gateway build to finally building Lightning McQueen, so thank you so much for voting for him. Ka-chow.
Hey, what you got here that's free? How about that?
Optimus Prime build.
No, wasabi.
Let's start off with our goals for this build. First, we need to be big, with a stature roughly the size of a semi-truck. Thank God we don't have to build a full truck, that would be impossible. Next, robots. They're in disguise, so we'll make sure that we can hide in plain sight, even if we can't necessarily turn into an 18-wheeler. Remember, the Autobots disguise themselves in their time, so if you were in a medieval setting, you'd have a medieval disguise. Finally, we need to give great speeches. You do give the Autobots a certain advantage by having a cool speech. For stats, we'll be using the standard point array from the player's handbook. Roll for stats if you want, just keep your multi-classing minimums in mind. Believe it or not, this one gets a bit busy. Strength will be number 1. You got a lot of horsepower. Each of your arms have to have the strength of at least 1 horse. I didn't know how horsepower worked as a kid, and I was always confused, thinking that somehow 40 horses ran faster than 1 horse. Charisma next. Your speeches are the only thing that end Transformers movies, and those movies ending is a great mercy, even the first one. You thought the first one was good because you were a child, but no, all of the Bay Transformers movies are terrible. None is better than any other. Nostalgia is mind poison. Bumblebee's a pretty good movie though. Constitution after that. If you were made of steel, you tend to be more durable than squishy organic people. Follow that up with intelligence. The history of Cybertron is long and complicated. I think you were a gorilla once. That's weird. Wisdom is a bit low. We need other stuff more, but you do get hacked by literal gods. Actually, that's probably a really high saving throw. We're gonna dump dexterity though. We're just not gonna need that at all. You're not exactly delicate on the battlefield. Optimus is a robot in disguise, so we need to be a robot first as a Warforged rather than a changeling. And he's not a human because he's not human. Very funny joke though, Mr. Commenter. Your parents must be very proud of you. Warforged get +2 Constitution and +1 Strength because that's the stat I want. That +1 can go anywhere. Thanks to your constructed resilience, you're immune to disease, you resist poison damage, and have advantage on poison saving throws. You don't need to eat, drink, or sleep. Instead, you can take a sentry's rest, staying alert but motionless for the benefits of a long rest. Your integrated protection lets you merge with armor you're proficient with, and it gets +1 to its AC, giving you that thick robot skin. You also get a free skill of choice like animal handling to make friends with a robot T-Rex, and we'll take the knight background for history and persuasion proficiency. If you're the last knight, you have to be a knight first, right? We'll kick things off as a fighter, giving you 2 skills from the fighter list. Athletics and intimidation will be solid picks considering you fight with cars, so you have to be able to lift and scare cars too, don't you? You get a fighting style like unarmed fighting to deal 1d6 plus your strength modifier and bludgeoning damage with your unarmed attacks, or 1d8 if you have 2 free hands. You also deal a d4 per round to a creature you have grappled. Imagine being pinned by an 18-wheeler, that's gotta hurt. You also get second wind, letting you recover 1d10 plus your fighter level as a bonus action once per short rest, so you can repair yourself a little bit. Second level fighters get action surge, letting you make 2 actions in 1 turn once per short rest, which will let you dash and attack in the same turn if you want to pretend you're a car. We're going to get a more car-like thing in a second here, but remember, you fought in the war on Cybertron long before you came to Earth, so we're going to work on your fighting before you're transforming. And a big part of your fighting is being big, so at 3rd level fighter, we'll take Rune Knight as our martial archetype, giving you some decals that give you special powers. The Frost decal gives you advantage on animal handling and intimidation checks, and once per short rest, you can add 2 to your strength or constitution checks for 10 minutes, making you even stronger than you already were. That's actually the only thing I want, but the Cloud decal is fun, giving you advantage on sleight of hand and deception checks, and once per short rest, you can force an attack that should hit 1 creature within 30 feet of you to hit another creature within 30 feet of you. Maybe you just tell Sam to get down, and a shot from Starscream hits Tonka Lord instead. Tonka Lord's a Decepticon, right? We're really here for Giant's Might, which will make you large so you can fill up a 10-foot area instead of a 5-foot area. You'll have advantage on strength checks and saves, and you can add a d6 of damage to 1 attack per round for a minute. You can transform this way an amount of times per long rest equal to your proficiency bonus. This should make you very large, which should help you take charge. 4th level fighters get an ability score improvement. Start off investing in your strength. Beating down Decepticons is the best defense for Earth. We're gonna jump over to Bard now, just like the video, and leave. I get it. You don't like to have fun when you build toys from the 80s in a board game. But if you do like having fun, Bards are the inspiration class. They make the best leaders, and there are even some Bards that can make their friends hit harder. For your artistic skill, I think you could say your decals justify painting or even calligraphy in your background. Swap out the gaming set with Knight. I don't think Optimus is playing craps. Anyway, the real reason we're here is for a method of disguise self, a spell that lets you change your appearance for an hour. You can't be more than a foot taller or shorter, but if you have yourself in a giant shape, boom, you can be a foot taller than 10 feet. Believe it or not, there isn't a spell to turn into a semi-truck in D&D, but this will let you look like any large-sized creature and eventually an even bigger one. You get more than one spell though, so grab Longstrider to add 10 feet to your movement speed and really put the pedal to the metal, though the metal is like the inside of your left arm, I think. Featherfall stops up to 5 falling creatures from taking falling damage, so Ironhide, Bumblebee, Jazz, Grunge, and Ska will all be safe cowabungaing off of rooftops. Cure Wounds lets you heal a creature 1d8 plus your Charisma modifier as an action. Use it on yourself for more of a regeneration factor or to help fix up one of your buddies. For cantrips, Mending also lets you do that, repairing a small crack in something or put 2 pieces of something back together. I think it should heal Warforged, but it doesn't. It's a cantrip though, so I get why that would be busted. Just use this to buff out some cosmetic scratches. Message lets you whisper something to someone 120 feet away and they can whisper back. Normally I'd say this is for subtle messages, but honestly, it might just be too loud to hear you talking normally in a fight. Another great reason to make Optimus a part is Bardic Inspiration, giving you a pool of d6s equal to your Charisma modifier to distribute to your allies. They can use them for an attack roll, ability check, or saving throw, and you can recharge them on a short rest. You also get a free skill of your choice. Investigation could help you find the Allspark, I think. We sort of have all the skills we need. This is just a fun bonus. Second level bards get Jack of all trades, letting you add half your proficiency bonus to any skill check you're proficient with. Believe it or not, the machine race that changes shape at will, pretty flexible problem solvers. You also get a Song of Rest, letting your allies heal an extra d6 of HP on short rests. I would guess you're playing Linkin Park, but in the end, it doesn't really matter. For this level spell, Animal Friendship lets you force a wisdom saving throw on an animal. Failing that, they're charmed by you for 24 hours or until one of your allies attacks them. Look, if you put Grimlock in the trailer, he has to be in the movie, even if it's only for the last 5 minutes of the movie. And the movie's 3 hours long, and it's bad. Third level bard is a big reason we came here. First, you get expertise in 2 skills. Athletics and persuasion are sort of your bread and butter. If you needed to eat bread and butter, you don't, you are a robot. You also get a Bardic College. Valor Bards get Combat Inspiration, letting your allies add your inspiration die to their damage rolls or to their AC, making them either shoot better or be more durable. You also get second level spells like Enlarge Reduce, which increases a creature's size, gives them advantage on strength checks and saves, and adds d4 to their weapon attacks for up to a minute depending on your concentration, mixing that with your Giant's Might, and you can be huge, filling a 15 by 15 foot area. You could also make a creature smaller, but that's not really in character. It does the opposite things, worse strength, less damage, and they can make a wisdom saving throw to resist the effect if they don't want to be tiny, but use this to be big. Don't make someone else tiny. Fourth level bards get another ability score improvement. Let's push that strength all the way to the tippy top. I don't think you're going to be beating Megatron by asking him nicely to stop attacking people, although your persuasion will be pretty bonkers. For this level spell, Locate Object lets you know where an object is within 1,000 feet of you, and if it's moving, what direction it's moving in, track that Allspark energy, and keep it safe from the Decepticons. You thought we were done multiclassing, you thought wrong. It's Paladin time, baby! First level Paladins get Lay on Hands, letting you heal creatures you touch from a pool equal to 5 times your Paladin level, even more recovery for you or encouragement for your allies. You also get Divine Sense, letting you detect fiends, celestials, and undead, an amount of times equal to your Charisma modifier. Every once in a while you might get a zombie transformer, but hot take, aliens are celestials, so transformers are more similar to celestials than constructs or aberrations, just my opinion, because it works better for this build. Second level Paladins get another fighting style. Let's get a big old robot sword with great weapon fighting, letting you re-roll damage die when you roll a 1 or 2 on an attack with a 2-handed weapon, making it a little more consistent. You also get more spells, but this time they're Paladin spells, like Divine Favor. To add a d4 of radiant damage to your weapon attacks for a minute, depending on your concentration, could be helpful if your unmagical damage is struggling to get through your enemy's steel defenses. Shield of Faith adds 2 to a creature's AC, setting you at 21 with integrated plate mail for some thick skin of your own. Bless gives up to 3 friendly creatures a d4 to add to ability checks or attack rolls if you think it's better to have your team do better than just you carry the team on your back. Of course, you're probably watching this video because you want to hit like a truck, so be sure to use plenty of Divine Smites to add 2d8 radiant damage to a weapon attack with a first level slot, an extra d8 of damage with each level you jack that slot up, and an automatic extra d8 of damage to undead or fiends. Optimus Prime would be pretty great at fighting Dracula, I've always thought that. Since you're multi-classing spellcasters, check page 165 of the player's handbook to figure out how many spells you have at any given level. This should let you upcast, cure wounds, or just make a bigger laser sword. Third level Paladins can choose a Sacred Oath, and for all the glory of the leader of the Autobots, I think we need the Oath of Glory. This will let you channel divinity in one of 2 ways. Fearless Athlete lets you give yourself advantage on athletics or acrobatics checks for 10 minutes, doubles your carrying capacity, pair that with Enlarge Reduce and Giant's Might. You can carry 2,400 pounds. I don't know when you're going to need to do that, but you can do that. That's some real towing capability. You could also use Inspiring Smite. That'll give creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you temporary HP equal to 2d8 plus your Paladin level as a bonus action after you use a Divine Smite, including you, making you tougher but also making the team better, almost like you're a leader or something. You also get Oath spells, which are spells that you have prepared for free. Guiding Bolt fires a ranged spell attack that deals 4d6 radiant damage and gives the next person attacking that target advantage. Hey, look, it's you, helping the team again. This is also what we're using for guns, since your guns are attached to you. They're not really weapons, and they're definitely kind of lasery. Heroism makes a creature immune to frightening and gives them temporary HP equal to your charisma modifier at the start of their turn for up to a minute depending on your concentration. You can't be afraid when you got Optimus on your team. He's just so cool. 4th level paladins get another ability score improvement. Let's start working on your charisma for more inspiration die and better spells, and because, you know, you're charismatic. 5th level paladins get an extra attack, finally, letting you use 2 attacks instead of 1 with your action. Keep in mind, you can only use Giant Might once per turn, but Enlarge, Reduce, and Divine Favor work on every attack. You can also smite as many times per turn as you want, but it will burn through your slots pretty quickly. Hey, speaking of spell slots, 2nd level spells. Magic Weapon gives a weapon +1 to attack and damage rolls for an hour depending on your concentration, and makes it magical in terms of overcoming resistances, so you can hit all the Decepticons no matter what defenses they have. Enhance Ability gives a creature advantage on skill checks of a certain type. If you choose Strength, their carrying capacity is doubled. Choose Dexterity, they don't take falling damage from heights of 20 feet or less, and if you choose Constitution, they get 2d6 temporary HP. You are Leo and Donatello. You lead the team and does machines. I'm assuming you does machines, though your partner would have to be an elite one. 6th level paladins get Aura of Protection, letting your allies add your charisma modifier to their saving throws when they're within 10 feet of you. If you're taking up 15 by 15 instead of 5 by 5, guess what? That's a huge area of protection. When your knight is 2 stories tall, they're better at keeping you safe. Who could have guessed? 7th level Glory Paladins get Aura of Alacrity, increasing your movement speed and the movement speed of your allies within 5 feet of you by 10 feet. That should help the Autobots roll out. You've got to like and subscribe for that smoothness. Come on, that's pretty good. 8th level Paladins get another ability score improvement. Keep pushing that charisma higher for better saving throws, spells, speeches. You really use it in a lot of different places. 9th level Paladins get 3rd level spells, and Glory Paladins get my favorite. Haste doubles a creature's movement speed, adds 2 to their AC, gives them advantage on dexterity saving throws, and an extra action to dash, disengage, hide, or make 1 attack. It lasts for a minute depending on your concentration, and after it ends, you need to take a turn off of actions and reactions to put some more gas in the tank. Concentrate on this if you want to be a car, and concentrate on Enlarge if you want to be a robot. Protection from Energy gives a creature resistance to acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage for an hour. I think there might be a few explosions in the Transformers movies, but I'm not sure. I don't want to say that too definitively. Those are free from the Glory Oath, but you can also grab Elemental Weapon. That'll add 1 to a weapon's attack rolls and an extra d4 of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage in case you think you've got an enemy who wouldn't want to be welded. 10th level Paladins get Aura of Courage, meaning allies within 10 feet of you can't be frightened. It's basically free heroism, and it cements your status as the ultimate fictional leader. 11th level Paladins get Improved Divine Smite, letting you add a d8 of radiant damage to all of your melee weapon attacks. They do have to be weapons, they can't be unarmed attacks, specifically because Jeremy Crawford said so on Twitter. I don't think it's worded any differently than anything else that counts unarmed attacks as weapons, but apparently there's enough nuance that it's different. Whatever. If you're playing in a Tulok game and you want to put radiant damage on your fists, hell yeah, go for it. Sounds rad. Our capstone is a 12th level Paladin for 1 last ability score improvement. Let's cap off your charisma modifier so everyone fighting next to you gets +5 to all of their saving throws, and you have more bardic inspiration to help them out later. That's pretty good. Now that we've hit level 20, let's figure out how viable this build is. First, you are the ultimate leader, giving your allies bonuses to their saving throws, immunity to fear, more speed just by standing next to you. You're also incredibly strong, the ability to lift 300 pounds normally, 600 pounds with Giant's Might, 1200 pounds with Enlarged Giant's Might, and 2400 pounds with Peerless Athlete. That's wild. Finally, you're dealing nice and consistent damage with a d8 of extra damage on each hit and a capped off modifier. For weaknesses, you're bulky and loud. You got no dexterity, and heavy armor will make it clank around. When your best stealth option is transforming into a giant carriage, you're not good at stealth. You're also loaded up on concentration. Even if you've got +13 to the saving throws, you can only have 1 up at a time. Finally, your auras don't have the range they would if we just focused on Paladin, so you gotta keep your friends close. Of course, you will have your friends close. The Autobots are a squad and you're their fearless leader. Make the team better, hammer down on the enemies, and keep on trucking. Just hope you don't have to hide from anyone. Deception is one of your cons. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, subscribe for more. We make 2 videos every week. Join the Patreon to vote for Asami or Tenzin from The Legend of Korra, and sub to Tulok and Mango for more Tulok fun.